Okay, today's bell ringer for bell ringer day 59 says during the formation of gametes, the tall and short genes of the plant separate from each other. This is called, is it the law of independent assortment, law of gametes, law of dominance, or law of segregation? So during the formation of gametes, tall and short plants separated from each other. So separated, that's one of our key words right there. Separated, if we're talking about separated. Another word for separate is to segregate. So this would be the law of segregation. The law of segregation. That means there were two alleles. They had to separate. One went to one gamete, the other went to the other gamete. So you only get one from mom and one from dad because of the law of segregation. It's Mendel's law of segregation. The next one says, give an example of the law of dominance. Well, any dominant or recessive trait you can think of would work there. Mendel talked about pea plants that in pea plants, the tall allele is dominant to the short allele. So that would be an example of the law of dominance. In pea plant, the tall allele is dominant to the short. And then the last one says, offspring of a dihybrid cross illustrate the, okay, that means if we have the big R, big G that we looked at yesterday, the big R could go with the big G or the little g, and the little r could go with the big G or the little g. It's called the law of independent assortment. They separate independent of each other. Just because you get one dominant doesn't mean you're going to get the other dominant. It can go either way. So the law of independent assortment. Never mind. The answer is the law of independent assortment. We'll just look at that. So our first one, law of segregation. Those alleles separate from each other. Our next one was one trait dominant over another. For example, in pea plants, tall is dominant over short. And then offspring of the dihybrid cross would illustrate the law of independent assortment.